Hi, welcome back. I'm Baz and this is iSharpen. Today I'm sharpening 5 Swebo knives and 3 Martini fish filleting knives. Thought I might bring you along in case you're interested. So let's just see how long it takes me, and also we're going to be using the Blackstone on the fine setting, so I won't have to worry about grinding it down with my diamond plates to make it coarse or anything like that. They're in pretty good condition. I've just reconditioned my honing wheel, which you'll see in the previous video. So that's all good to go. We've got fresh water and let's get started. So you can see them all here. What we're going to do is we'll start with the biggest one and work our way down. That's how I usually like to work. Now this one is pretty flexible, so I'm going to use the flexible knife jig, otherwise known as the long knife jig, but it's really designed for flexible knives. Now this one was used for filleting shark, and the customer said he was very happy with it last time, so I'm going to use the same angle, which is probably around about 30 degrees, 15 degrees per side. Let's measure the wheel. I've probably done about 30 knives now. Normally I'd use about 1 millimeter per 7 knives, and this is now currently down to 243 or 244. Still 244 and a half. So I bought this wheel secondhand. I like to buy as much of my gear secondhand used as possible, and it was at about 245 and a half. So it's wearing very well. Now let's drop that down a bit. And proving to be very suitable for knife sharpening. What I like about it is that it's very sharp. The silicon carbide crystals really take a lot of metal off, and so we can leave it on the fine setting, which means that less of the wheel is eroded by grinding it off with the diamond plates, and saves money. I had some comments recently saying that this is too slow a process, and that was on one of my fast videos. So I just wanted to point out that economically this is not a slow process. There may be some faster ways, like well, if you want to see fast, head over to Cliff Curry at Curry Custom Cutlery channel, and he's a sanding belt guy, and he zooms through them, does a great job. But I like the Tormek. It's the tool that I've got, and as long as I can make enough money to live, then I'm good. So let's say if I was only charging 10 bucks a knife, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are 8 knives. If I can do them in an hour, that's 80 bucks an hour. And if that's not enough for you, then you're not really focusing on the right thing. All right, that's it. I've got a burr. There, we're done. Didn't take long. And you can see that the Blackstone provides a beautiful fine grain finish. And normally, I don't like making videos unless I've got something interesting to say or something new to show you or something like that. But I've had some feedback that says people just like watching me work. It's relaxing. So if that's the case, then I will make a lot more videos of just me sharpening. I mean, they may not be the most interesting Mr. Beast style videos, but I love watching people work. I like Wristwatch Revival. I like watching Blackstone, is it Blacktail Studios, the guy that does the carpentry with the epoxy river tables and all that. I love watching other sharpeners. So I'm going to just presume for a little while, see how it goes, and see how many people watch me just doing normal sharpening and talking. Watching Chili. There he is. Lying down, always with me. I could talk about normal things happening in my life. For example, I just bought a 1981 Suzuki GSX 1100 motorbike. I've got a channel called Australian GSX 1100. If you guys want to go and have a look at that. A little bit catchy. If you're into motorbikes, let me know. What sort of bike have you got? And give me some feedback as to whether you like just watching me sharpen. It doesn't have to be new things. It just be the normal knives that I get in, day out. If you like just watching me work, I'll do working videos. Beautiful. All right, one down. Now, sanitize with some alcohol. Where's my cloth? Here it is. Oh, I left you over there. Come over here. Move you over a bit. Editing is such a hassle that I'm just going to leave a lot of these little movements in unless I get really interrupted. So again, sanitize with IPA. I dilute it down to about 90%. And I always advise them to wash their knives before they finish, before they use them anyway. And I'll put these little yellow stickers, which is yellow masking tape, on there just as a little warning to tell them that they're very sharp. Alright, knife number 2. This one's quite curved, but it should work well. Now when they're curved, I like the finishing part to be parallel with the perpendicular to the wheel at right angles. So needs to come down a bit. I love these old angle masters. They're so fast. They're just brilliant pieces of engineering. They do the job. I'm very happy. The customer was very happy with these the last time I did them. He said they slipped through the fish first go, straight through. Lovely. It's always good to get feedback like that. Good bearage. These are all being sharpened at 1000 grit, or what I assume is 1000 grit. Whatever it is, if it slices through these, it's sharp enough. Good burr. If you have any questions, please ask. I have answered every single comment that's ever been made on this channel. Now, I don't know if everybody else can say that. I know there are some sharpeners out there that just don't want to answer questions and comments. And that's fine, they might have busy lives, but I don't. I love your feedback, I love questions, I love... as long as you don't be a dick about it. Smartasses will get 100 times smartass comments, bracket them. Because I love being smartass. So one person said they would like a t-shirt with iSharpen. If you're a sharpener and you sharpen, maybe you need an iSharpen t-shirt. Now, setting up a website to do merch is a hassle. I don't want to do it, but if you guys are going to buy shirts off me, maybe even an iSharpen hat, let me know what you want. Long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies. They're so expensive these days though, I can't get over that. My breath was taken away when I last saw how much people are charging for t-shirts. But you know, it is what it is. Over onto the fine side. And let's test. Still a bit catchy. I always like to try and get away with as little stropping and honing as possible, because that leaves the apex intact. But sometimes you just got to get in there. And this kangaroo tail does a great job of getting in between all the teeth and digging out that burr root that stops the knife from being razor sharp. Let's try it now. Oh, much better. A little bit Maybe not. Bit hard to get all the areas on these curves. Sometimes I'm missing. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. Let's try again. That's nice. Happy with that. Could be a little bit better, but I think we're not playing sharp sports now. And I'm not saying that they're good enough as in not good enough. They are actually good enough. Sanitize. Thank you for watching, by the way, again. I always like to thank you for watching. You could be doing other things. Instead, you're watching and supporting my channel. Appreciate that. Right, let's have a look at this guy. Very stabby. Not sure what this one would be for. Semi-flexible. Yeah, not that flexible. Oh, I think that's a bit lower, so it's about a 28. It should make it super slicey. So 28, of course, is 14 degrees per side. Getting a burr. One more. Ding. That was me, not you. Good strong burr. Okay. This is where chili got his name from. Just chilling. He's alive. Okay. I still have lots of kangaroo tails for any Australians who want to buy one. I can't send them overseas because of red tape and wokeness, but I can sell them to Australians. So if you're an Australian and want a kangaroo tail, hit me up. My emails are everywhere. I'm happy to send you one express. You'll have it in a few days. Let's have a look. Ooh, a little bit more. Also, I've still got some baz knives left. If you want a baz knife, let me know. Beautiful. Quick sanitize. Three down, 4 to go. Now, if you want to hang around, those martinis, look at this one, super thin. How am I going to do that? I'll show you. This one is a bit bigger. I'll be able to get a clamp on that, no worries. And this one also I can clamp. But this one, I don't know, man. It's going to be touch and go. Not much left of that one. Right, let's get this boning knife. The difference between a boning knife and a filleting knife is the boning knives are thick, not flexible, and the filleting knives are flexible. Oh. Right. And this is the ultimate filleting knife. In case you're wondering. Okay, boning knife. Now, boning knife should traditionally be used at slightly higher angles. Filleting knife thin, boning knife, axes, cleavers, you know what I mean? So we want it to be quite thin, but not as fragile and thin, because these are going to be hitting bones on purpose. So I'm going to do it at about 32, 33 degrees. I've noticed that the stone, this black stone, does tend to pick up things that it holds in its pores. Either that or it gets chipped. It could be getting chipped, but that little tick 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 tick, can't hear it on this side much. But listen to it on this side, you'll hear it. There, hear it? Could be a little chip. This is already glazed over, so I don't mind using it, because this wheel and the back of this grading stone are made of the same thing. But it still provides some abrasion. Let's see if that came out. Oh, it did. It might have been a little nick. I don't mean little nick down at the fruit and veg shop. He's different. All right. Getting a bit warm, so I'm going to turn the fan on. Test for burr. A little bit of gripping right at the back there. Beautiful. Only one more sweebo after this, and then onto those martinis. Oh, here's news. Chili has changed position. Well, I repeat, chili has changed position. That's news. You can really hear those ridges working to dig out that root of the burr, that sticky little tiny pollutant of a metal grain. Yep, still got a bit more to go. It's always good to underdo them rather than overdo them. Still a bit catchy. And that's a nicer entry. That's nice. My favourite wallpaper. Because I think we have some improvements to go. And now for the flexible. Well, it's not really that flexible, but I'll give it the half semi. I modified this jig because some knives that are flexible aren't really as wide as the big one, so this works to grip them, keep them stable. Couple more. Now, when you need more grinding, you can either do more strokes or you can go slower, or you can press more. A couple of ways to get more grinding out of a knife. Good. Now, sometimes the water can lubricate that edge, so it's best to dry it off and make sure your fingerprints are gripping on that burr. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. Why do I keep the clamp on? Because sometimes I need to go back to the wheel. Very rare, but sometimes I see a little nick that I missed. And this way I can just go back onto the wheel straight away. But in this case, it looks perfect. Oh, Chili has moved again. He's now outside. Oh, we've got a head shake. There you going, Chili? Which way? This way. Look at those ridges. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but ridgeback looks just like the kangaroo tail ridges. Same? Same. Yep. All right. See how we go. Beautiful. All right, that's all the sweebos. Now we have the three, oh, where's my finger, there it is, the three martinis. Sanitize. Okay, we'll leave the tricky one to last. All right. First we'll get the doable ones. Now I've got to check when I lay these low that this jig is going to clear the wheel. It's that wheel, but I wonder what angle that is. You want to get these as fine as possible. Yep, that's less than 30, so that should be good. This one was ground pretty unevenly, so I have to bring it all the way back down. That's why I'm doing 3 passes per side. And what I mean by ground unevenly was in the field. I'm not sure if he used a stone. I think he said he used a stone. And in the field you just got to do what you got to do to get them sharp to continue the job that day. But while I've got them here, I may as well get them even again. Here's something interesting. You can see that as I'm grinding them, right, oh, I'll show you this side. See that silver at the top? That's the old edge, still there. Right? See that silver line at the top? See on this side, for example, I've ground down to the apex on this side, and that's missing. There's no silver on the top. But on this side, there's definitely silver. So, now, it's not a matter of grinding, this side is where the silver was. It's not a matter of just grinding all the way till the silver's gone, because then you'll have a lopsided knife, right? So sometimes I've got to grind. So this is the side that's already apexed. Well, it's at the top on this side. I'll grind this down, and that will bring the edge back down to meet the silvering on this side. So I'll try this side first. Just give this one an extra. This is the side with the silvering. Not the side you can see, the side that's touching the grinding wheel. The underside. Still got some silvering. Oh, actually, I might have been wrong there. This side's fine. Oh, so it's this side, the initial side, that has silvering. There's still a little bit there. Here, I'll show you. There's a bit on the tip. See it there? Right there. See, that still needs grinding. And the rest of it is fine until the back. See, that still needs grinding. Still see the silvering there. And I can feel a burr all the way across. Oh, I've still got a little bit at the back there. Might try attacking it from the back side. All gone. and you can see how good a grinding edge the Tormek puts on there. See, all that silvering is gone now. Even on the tip. So that's ready. Check for burr. That is icy smooth. Icy smooth. Now this knife has got geometry working in its favour. For example, it's very thin and the angle has been reduced as well. Let's have a look. A little bit on the suede side. Let's see how that cuts. Pulling the paper a little bit towards the end. People are asking, why don't you do best tests anymore? Well, best can be manipulated, whereas this cannot be faked. So this is the real world test, and best is for titillation. Nice. Martini, great knives. Made in Finland, the land of the Finn. Now I realise that by making long movies like this, I may lose some of you, but that's okay. I appreciate anybody who watches even for a few minutes. So we'll use the long knife because this is a long knife, and take the flexibility out of it. Now this one has got even more bias bevel. So I don't know if you can see that. That's not a super hard bevel, but that's cool because it was done on the stone in the field. And see, this side very small. So this side small, this side big. So I'll have to grind it down so it's even again. Notice how I'm not touching the wheel. I'm not regrading it or anything. Love this black stone. Oh, let's check the angle of the dangle. Perfect. I'm going to do 3 passes on this one side just to bring it down. Oh, there's that nicking again. I wonder why that keeps coming up. I don't know if you could hear it. Tack, 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 tack. I'll show you. So you can see that I'm putting the new bevel on, but we've got silvering all the way along pretty much. So I'm putting a brand new bevel on that's quite steep. Should make a very sharp knife. I'll do 3 passes on this side to match it. Sometimes you have to do more passes on one side than the other. If the bevels are uneven and you give equal passes on both sides, then they just finish uneven. So we've got to make sure that we grind according to what's actually happening and not to some formula of make sure that you do the same number of passes on each side. No. Although initially I will, but just wanted to mention that it's not always the case. And so what I mean by that is that, so when we got this knife, this side had a big bevel and this side had a little short bevel. So if I started on this side and I ground it down and I still had silvering on the top. So if I kept doing even, then this side will stay that sharp and this side will stay at that sharp. So if I do more work on this side, then it will come over and take the silvering off this side because it's lowering the apex as I grind it over, and then that comes out even. In my head that works. Don't know if that's geometry perfection, but that's what goes through my head when I'm sharpening. Still got a lot of silvering on this side. I might try and bring this side up again, or down really. Okay. Nice. I've got a burr. I don't think it's very strong on the tip here, so I wonder why that is. Oh, I've got some silvering on the top still. So sometimes on the tips, I and others get nervous and they go too quick, but you've got to take your time going across around that corner there. It feels pretty grippy. I think this side is still a bit uneven bevel wise. That needs to come down. And I just want to lower those grains with a piece of wood. Doesn't make sense, but it works. Okay. Check it out. Oh, we've been here for an hour. You're still watching. Bless you. See, those Tormek does such a fantastic job. All right. Test it for burr. That is Icelandically smooth. With a nice finish. Get it? All right. Oh, chili has continued to go outside. Oh, what a life. Eating, lying down, and being a professional buffhead. You're not a buffhead. You're a good boy. Let's have a look. Still pulling a little bit. Get back on those ridges. I'm not 100% sure whether the suede side or the ridges is really the best. I know the ridges are good, but I'm not 100% sure if the suede is doing more or nothing. Let's have a look. Beautiful. Okay, last knife, and the trickiest. So how am I going to get such a narrow knife to clamp with a decent angle? Well, the answer is I'm not. I will have limited options as for the angle, and I'm going to have to let the jig decide the angle. What I mean by that is, okay, if I use just this clamp, I can clamp it in here, no problem, plenty of room, but now we've got a lot of flex there. Now if I press lightly and for a long time, I can still do that, right, and it's not touching the wheel. I can still do that, but I'm not real keen on this flexing. It doesn't make for soup. There's a risk that the bevel may not be super even. So I'm going to use the medium jig, and I'm going to try and place it as close to the handle as possible so that I can get some meat. Right, up here I'm barely grabbing. I'll come up close and show you. See, so here I'm barely grabbing, and here I've got some good meat. So it goes all the way to about there, and then there's not much support. But the tip is fairly stiff, stiffer than if I was just grabbing it from there. And I'm going to have to let the knife, or the jig, determine the angle I mean, I'll try. Yeah, that's about 30, so that should work. But what I don't want is for that jig to touch the wheel. So I check it out, and you know what? I've got more that I can come down. That's good. That means I can get down into the 20s, which is where these filleting knives should be. Yep, I'm going to try that. Now I can't really press down much. I've just got to use I've got to use time. See how I'm going real slow? And light pressure to get that wheel to abrade the knife. Oh, can you hear it? I'm touching. And not only that, but now I've got, come in and have a look. Damn it. See the aluminium? I've now embedded aluminium into the wheel. Not good. So first of all, I'm going to raise it back up. And second of all, I have to get that aluminium out now. That was the danger. I got a little bit cocky there. So I'm going to use my 80 grit plate. Diamond. You can see that that's pretty rough. I'm going to smooth it out again with the 320 plate. And smooth it off with my wooden peg. And that feels smooth again. So hopefully this time it won't scratch. But we've come up now, so the angle's probably around 30. Again. Ooh, pretty close. I felt a bit of a scrape. Felt a bit of a scrape. Okay. It's all right. Okay. Where are we up to? No burr yet. You can see we've got a fair bit of silvering on this side. See that? It's pretty much all the way through the whole length. On this side, it's got a little bit at the tip, and the rest is apexed. Might even support it a little bit with my finger. To get some weight on there. Also, the wheel is set to pretty fine, so I'm not surprised it's taking a few more passes than normal. You know, might just try a few passes on the rough, see if that helps. Okay, getting a bit of a burr. got a burr, but now this side here is quite a lot larger than the other side. See, this has got a nice big fat bevel, and this side not so fat. So I'm going to give it 3 passes on this short side. And no, the wheel is not hurting my fingers. It's a tickle at best. One more, and then we're done. I think. Let's have a look. Okay. Could be the way that it was ground, I don't know. It's a bit uneven. Got a bit of a reverse curve going there. This side's still a little bit fatter, but I think that's all we can do with this one. It is what it is. You can see how much it's been ground, because look where the writing is. See, the writing's disappeared. So this was a much broader knife originally, and the knives wear down, you know, there's not much you can do about that. Here's what it is. Okay. I think given the circumstances, we've done okay. What do you reckon, Chili? He reckons whatever I reckon. There we go. Not bad. A little bit noisy. Nope. No good. Talk about a finale. No good. Back onto the grinding wheel. touching the jig there. Yep, I've got aluminium in the wheel. Oh well, might have to raise it up a little bit. And that'll give us a steeper angle. Hopefully we'll clear the jig. Alright, we're clearing the jig. We'll see how that goes. Alright. Give it a few light passes. It's got good and bad bits. I don't know why. It could have, I don't know. I've got a lot of excuses. I could spin the wheel. Let's see which excuse lands. I blame climate change. We need more CO2 in the air. Oh God, that's even worse. We might have to call this one dead. I'm not doing it again. But who knows why I failed on this one. Let's see if it cuts paper. It might have to be as good as it's going to get. We might have to declare this one DOA. Whew. Might have to be good enough. Not good enough for the cigarette, but good enough for the magazine. And all the rest of them while we're here. Ooh. What do you reckon? Leave your comments below. Why was that a failure, the last one? Is it a failure? We'll see. Fucking bastard, mate. I don't know. Oh well. Maybe this is just finished. Too thick, maybe. Could be too thick here now. How thick is it? For a filleting knife, it better be around 5 or 6 maximum. It's 86. It's nearly a mil. That's pretty fat, especially for a filleting knife. Look at that. 78 at best. That's very fat. I think this knife is dead. Still, it should be able to useful for something. We'll see. Anyway, that was a day in the life of Baz the Sharpener at iSharpen. You want to support the channel? Send me an email and I'll sell you a Baz knife. Thanks for watching. Bit of a disappointing end at the end, but was it? I don't know. I think I have to blame me. I've run out of skill on that last knife. I'm not quite sure whether I could. Look, if I had my way, I would have. I think maybe the angle was a little bit too steep as well. If I had my way, I would have been, and there was plenty of meat on the knife, I would have been able to lean it over and get a really good angle. I think maybe it was just a bit too steep, a little bit too thick, and just couldn't cut it on the ultimate test of the cigarette rolling paper. But that's how it goes sometimes, and I'm going to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for... How did you hang around for so long? That's incredible. Thanks again. Bye.